But the second time they met, he recalled that Wagner was in great fettle and talked to an open-mouthed group in brilliant fashion. He talked so fast I could catch little of what he said. What delighted Parry most was Wagner's conducting, which he pronounced quite marvellous. He seems to transform all he touches. I was so wild with excitement that I did not recover all afternoon. Not everyone felt so magnetized. Some of the audience walked out of the Rheingold and Walküre concerts. But the extracts from Götterdämmerung went down a storm, and the applause went on for a quarter of an hour.
Everyone looks forward to the weekend. Whether it's getting out in the fresh air with a family, people sharing sweetly and open farming matches, dancing, toasted, cold milk, and fried bread. And others look forward to the ultimate weekend together. Coldfield. And Coldfield is in. Turning up for this season. Welcome to the four amazing family breaks. Head-to-heart.co.uk. Roast good. Don't turn your kitchen. So what are you waiting for? Book your summer mountain holiday today at Norwich.co.uk.
Let's go.
The Radio Norwich team are ready to come out with our exclusive safe steam zip clips. They're smart, super reflective, and your kids will love attaching them to their coats and school bags to help them be seen. Head to radionorwich.radio and request a visit to your school or community group and help our kids be safe, be seen. With more dinosaur adventure, Norfolk's top attraction for indoor and outdoor play.
Have a great afternoon with A-Plan Insurance. Call into your new branch on Surrey Street for a truly personal service.
The Radio Norwich Event Guide.
This Sunday, the 14th of October, there is a radio control event taking place at the Scouts Hall on Station Road in Attleborough, featuring radio controlled transport models, off-roading on a miniature course, various static models, and an air-fixed models display. All in aid of Scout funds, and we've got all the details on the website, where you can also get in touch if you have a charity event happening soon as well. All the details in the local section at radionorwich.radio.
This is Classic FM.
Excitement brewing here ahead of Classic FM Live at the Royal Albert Hall tonight. It's going to be a moving and inspiring evening of music to commemorate the 100th anniversary of the armistice, and it'll include the world premiere of the Great War Symphony by Patrick Hawes. Would you like to be there, but you think you've left it too late? You haven't. A last batch of returns has just come in. Call the box office at the Albert Hall on 020 7589 8212. That's 020 7589 8212. Or you can just go online to royalalberthall.com.
I've been to visit a goat to say sorry to him. Not just to apologise, he's going there to christen the owner. What a name! That's the name of a rock goddess. This afternoon from 4.
was a Russian military doctor called Alexander Mishkin. Journalists from the investigative website Bellingcat identified Mishkin as an agent with the Russian intelligence service, the GRU. BBC News has now spoken to people who grew up with Mishkin and have confirmed his identity. Here's our Moscow correspondent, Sarah Rainsford.
Vladimir Putin's spokesman says if the British government has evidence, it should be submitted through official channels for Russia to consider, as evidence grows that the two men captured on security cameras in Salisbury were agents of Russian military intelligence. The man who was paraded on state television here as Alexander Petrov has now been identified by Bellingcat and others as military medic and spy Alexander Mishkin. The BBC has since contacted two people who knew Alexander Mishkin growing up, who confirmed from photographs that he is the man seen in Salisbury.
Officials was allowed to pilot its site. Carl Langdale was jailed in 2016 after admitting the murder of Casey Locke. The regional medical director for NHS England, Dr. David Levy, says agencies failed to work together to intervene during his care.
Certainly there were shortcomings and opportunities that weren't taken to understand the complexity of this patient's problems and gather information from the various agencies, including mental health trusts, the police and other services, to form a full picture about the condition of this patient and the care plan that was required to keep him safe and others and members of the public.
Theresa May will have to amend her proposals for Brexit to get a final deal. The former Brexit minister, Steve Baker, has suggested that 40 MPs could be prepared to oppose any arrangement that keeps Britain too closely aligned to the EU. Miss Mordaunt said Mrs May was working for the best deal for Britain, but refused to explicitly endorse her so-called Chequers plan.
The Prime Minister can count on myself.
This is the first one, alongside Karen Moore-Jones, who is my special guest celebrity opponent for Britain today. And I think we might take a forward back. I've got a feeling. Oh, do you reckon? Yeah, I'm so confident for you, honestly. One thing I am confident of is some fantastic songs, we're not saying that. Here's a little movie douche of what's to come.
Den sidste del er der, hvor vi gerne i hvert fald på forhånd vil have lov til at sige, det vi ked af.
Ja, det skal vi klare.
Enormt mange.
Ja.
Og så synes jeg, at vi behøver at snakke mere om det, så kan vi bare komme i gang.
Awesome tune on Heart. Tell you what, big night tonight for Dua Lipa. She's going to be performing at the American Music Awards later. She's also up for Best New Artist, which is going to all but confirm her rise to superstardom. Right, this is Body Groove, Architects on Heart.
Three songs all linked to something from another show here at BBC Essex. And your job is to work out what the subject is based on the title of the tunes. And great songs through the afternoon, like Jess Glynn and Good I Wanted You. Go on. Send it over.
Lewis and Bill's Jeremy Vine here. After 1 o'clock we have What Makes Us Human with the former Australian Prime Minister Julia Gillard. Can't wait to see her. And then also we discuss separately the murder of the, well, I say murder, the disappearance of the Saudi journalist who goes into their consulate in Istanbul and no one sees him again. What on earth are they playing? Involve everyone signing a confidentiality agreement. It would not be compulsory, by the way, so patients would still be able to opt for one, presumably a longer wait for that. The idea of shared appointments has been tried out, and around 300 taking place across England. The Royal College of GPs has been monitoring the trials.